Welcome back to Cajun Horror Talk, guys. Today we're talking the Exorcism of Emily Rose. Grab a beer, grab a cup of coffee, let's talk horror. Well, guys, the Exorcism of Emily Rose is based on a true story, based on the story of Annalise Michelle.
Annalise Michelle.
Is actually
Died in 1976 from a ridiculous amount of exorcisms that were attempted on her and were taken her life.
Well, funnily enough, as of the day we posted this video, it is actually the 14th anniversary of this movie being released.
That's right, September 9, 2005, The Exorcism of Emily Rose was released to the public.
Yep. As he said, it's based on Annalise Michelle. She died while having exorcism performed on
Undergoing
her.
a bunch of exorcisms to try to drive out the evil spirits that inhabited her body.
Yeah.
Played by Jennifer Carpenter.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, not related to John Carpenter.
No, not at all. But it's another thing too. You don't see her in many horror movies.
I think she's most notably known for Dexter.
She played Dexter.
And I think she was in a film. I think she was in an NCIS, I believe. I know she was in a crime drama. I'm not sure if it was specifically NCIS, but she was in a crime drama at one point.
This was a pretty well-received movie, and she did a really good job.
She did an amazing
job.
I
thought for sure, you would think for sure that her
would have been
career
the blast off to her horror career to kind of make another Scream
and
queen.
she kind of just
pretty much. She was like, "Yep, I'm done with that shit. Don't want to do that anymore." She did really well.
She really did. Now, one of my favorite aspects of this movie is it kind of takes The Exorcist meets Law and Order.
Absolutely, the courtroom drama aspect was just absolutely very well done.
Yeah, and it was
amazing.
Very interesting too. I love the way that one of my favorite things about it. You don't see all of the exorcism and then ends and then goes to the courtrooms. You live through the exorcism because of what's brought up in the courtroom.
Yeah,
and that's how the story is told.
The aftermath of the exorcism was kind of like the driving force behind this movie, and I think it was really interesting to see the reactions after the fact, because I mean, it's an old saying that everyone believes in evil when they're faced with evil, but once evil's gone, everyone refuses to admit that it was there. So you can live through these horrible fucking things, but once the situation's gone, they're like, that didn't happen. That didn't fucking happen. I don't know what you're talking about. So to see the aftermath of what happened and get to relive that experience through the tales of, obviously not her because she's dead at the time of this movie, but to live through her words, because they lived through all the things that the witnesses were telling, what she described was going on, and how they perceived what was going on, and the different things that they saw her doing, and all this crazy ass shit. To be able to get to see that from a different perspective was really refreshing, and it's something I haven't seen done in any other exorcism movie.
Yeah, it definitely sets itself apart from everything else. As far as the main characters in this movie, the prosecutor, the defense attorney, both spot on.
Yeah,
really
Aaron
good.
Aaron Brenner.
Yeah,
played Miss Laura Linney, the attorney that was defending
the defense attorney. Yeah. She was amazing. She was really good. Her and the priest really had a chemistry together when they acted together.
Yeah, she was defending Father Moore, who was on charge for obviously the negligent homicide because she wound up dying during the exorcism.
Yeah, Father Moore also did a wonderful job. Really believable.
And they typecasted very well in that. And I hate to say that, but he very much played this battered old priest, like strong in his faith, that just knew what he did was right and was willing to do. He played that very well.
I love the story idea of the reason that he wouldn't back down and wouldn't take a plea bargain was because he really thought that her story needed to be out there because it was his.
He would rather suffer the consequences than not have her story told.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
And he says it in there. He believes that she will become a saint.
Yeah.
And because her
willingness to continue.
Yeah, and this is his way of getting her story told. You find out through his testimony that Emily had a dream. She had left a letter,
and she had a dream. She had a vision of the Virgin Mary in the dream.
Yep, and the Virgin Mary offers her to go on to heaven.
She pretty much offers like a relief.
Yeah,
it's like a tag team partner. Like, hey, you done? I got this.
Yeah,
and Emily Rose is pretty much like,
or you can go back and have your story told, and have people's eyes open. And she chooses to let herself be tormented by this thing
for the greater good.
For the greater
essentially,
good,
which is why she's going to be
now,
supposedly by this
don't get me
priest
wrong.
considered for patronage. Now, of course, this is all embellished a little bit from the story.
This is all embellished from the story.
Of course, I mean it's not the actual story of
It's
Annalise
Hollywood,
Michelle. It's
yeah.
got to be theatrical at some points of it, but
as far as
very
storytelling,
powerful, driven storytelling.
cinematography, really well done.
Very, very well. I can't
a
say
lot of
much
good
about
shots.
the score or the music or anything. Nothing really
That's
sticks
one
out.
thing. That's we talked about this after
It
watching
doesn't really
it.
stick out anywhere.
No, afterwards you think about it, you're like, dude, I can't remember a single.
I don't remember a single moment where there was like music in the background.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Now, like I was saying before, the cinematography. There's a couple things you catch. As you go back to watch it, there's a part in the beginning when Father Moore's when the cop shows up to arrest him, he looks out the window. You actually see something go across in the barn.
I actually didn't catch that at first. We were around him because he saw it. It's a
Yeah.
shadowy figure that you kind of see
go
walk
up into
across
the
the
barn.
doorway of the barn and goes inside the barn.
Yeah,
and disappears.
there's little things like that you catch on the second watch.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of stuff was good. Like the when she was hallucinating and she see the people's face go
Very well done. That's
go
creepy. Could you
creepy.
imagine that
yeah,
shit? Oh
man.
my god.
You could really get in her mind.
If you look at, even if a portion of the story that we're told through Emily Rose is actually very true in the story of Annalise Michelle, if a portion of that is true, how the fuck have you not jumped off a bridge at this point?
Yeah, you have
I'm
to.
sorry, like I'm not advocating suicide by any means at all. But at what point of being tortured where you're seeing faces, you're hearing shit, things are getting increasingly difficult everywhere around you, at what point do you just not go, fuck it, I can't
Right.
sleep, I'm being held down in my fucking sleep by an invisible force, I'm just gonna fucking end it.
That's it. Yeah.
At what point?
Now, don't get me wrong. I loved this movie. I really did. I've liked this movie since it came out. I was in high school when it came out, and watched it then and loved it then. They have changed things in the new.
We caught it whenever we were watching it the second time. There's actually some verbiage that goes on inside of a Catholic Mass or inside of certain rites or things that go on. And as we're watching this movie in preparation for this video, because we've already seen the movie several times and we're both fans of it, we're watching the movie, and as we're watching it, we're both Catholic. We're listening to something that happens inside of the film. We're like, wait a second. How did they just say what they just said when that wasn't even said in 2005?
Yeah.
When the verbiage that was used in this movie was apparently refreshed at some point once the standpoint of
But also, it's been edited in other ways.
we
when
missed
they
an
have
entire scene from Miss, and I know I'm going to mispronounce this name, but Share Agdashley?
I'm not even trying
I
that.
apologize in advance for
Yeah.
butchering
Basically,
that name because she did
she's
amazing.
She's a
She
specialist.
plays Dr. Adani, who
Yeah.
specializes in spiritual warfare from a scientific standpoint.
Exactly.
Totally
There's a whole cross-examination scene with the prosecutor.
That's not.
That's
even,
amazing in the original movie.
Yeah.
That's no longer in the movie anymore.
We both were waiting for that scene whenever we were rewatching this movie.
And it's not even in there. This is the one I bought it off of Amazon, off of Prime.
Amazon Prime, and I mean, we went and looked for an old DVD copy of the movie to see because
We couldn't find the scene
I know
on
I'm
YouTube.
Not. I know I'm not crazy, but we couldn't find the scene on YouTube. We couldn't find it anywhere online. I know this scene exists.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
It's just like it's been wiped off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
So, take that as you will. I can't
She
really
has
take it
an
away from the
entire
movie.
spill where she blames Gamatral for the reason. There's like a few minutes where she's talking and she's being cross-examined. Completely wasn't
wrong.
even in the movie that we watched.
But so I mean, I can't take away from the movie because they edited it out. I remember the way it was. And that
I
was one of
still
the cooler
understand
parts
some
of
of the things that they edited and cut out and did. I kind of get they're trying to
Yeah.
stifle the controversy and keep up with the times. I can kind of get that.
Another thing that got changed from the original story. In the original story, both the mom and dad also were on trial with the priest.
Yes.
And this one, his Father Moore goes on trial.
He's by
for it.
himself.
Yeah, he's by himself. In the original case, the priest actually does time for it.
Yeah.
In this one, they kind of hit him with a credit for time served kind of thing, to where
And
he
slap
just
on the
goes
wrist
home.
and he
Yeah.
just goes home.
Which
Yeah,
was
no,
just-
the
it's a happy ending.
Annalise Michelle, like everybody was on trial.
Yeah.
Everybody who had anything to do with this situation was on trial.
Yep.
A very powerful story. If you haven't read up on the story of Annalise Michelle, the story that this movie was based on, it's definitely worth the read.
Yeah.
There's a couple of different places online where you can find it. It's definitely interesting, and you can kind of see the similarities between the movie and the real case, and you could also see where some things were embellished for theatrical purposes.
Look, guys, for me personally, this movie is a 4. Possibly on a good day, a 4.5, but at least a 4 for me.
Yeah.
I love this movie. It's one of my go-tos. if it's on, it's one of those things where if I'm flipping through the channels and it's on, I'll put it on and watch
Absolutely,
it. I enjoy the crap out of this movie.
Absolutely. I'm going to actually go with, I'm going to say on any day a 4.5. There's not a whole lot of negatives that I can think about this movie. There's even some of the controversial plot points and everything. Isn't something that takes away from the storytelling or the character-driven, the very powerful character-driven that they did in this movie. I'm definitely going to hold firm at a 4.5. I think it's an amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, you're fucking up.
Yeah, you're fucking up.
You're fucking up.
Find it.
What are you doing with your life? Go out and watch this movie.
So guys, I give it a 4. He gives it a 4.5. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notifications whenever we put more stuff out. Find us on Facebook. Find us on Twitter. Find us on Instagram. I'm Jay. This is Ross. Have a good one.
About to start, honey.
If you kill a rabbit, just eat.
That wasn't creepy at all.